You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
And I'm excited to go through today's Friday review. I really do love bringing all of these products to you, whether it's a book, a supplement, exercise equipment, research, a new app, any of those things, because they're things I use every day myself and every day in my practice. So I'm giving them out as private recommendations, and why not share that with you as well? Plus, I'm a person who really does, I love supplements. I love the nutritional supplement industry for the people who are doing it right, of course. I mean, the ones on Amazon and the cheap private label ones and all that, of course, that gives it a bad name. But, there's someone in everyone's profession that gives them a bad name, right? Whether it be personal trainers, there's the meatheads, whether it's, accountants doing the just kind of like running it through software. So again, there's everyone in everyone's industry that they frown upon. And there's like again, that's in the supplement industry as well. But I also love technology, and I love gadgets, and I love testing, and I love books. And so again, for me, this is fun, and I love to bring these things to you as well, because maybe you decide never to read the 300 or 400 page book, or maybe you never decide to do the research yourself, and I just want to bring you those snippets that can really help you out. So the first one we're going to go through is a book I read quite a while ago, but one that I do really like. And you know what? There's not a lot in the same genre except this book and a few others. So the book is called the ApoE Gene Diet. And ApoE is essentially, it's a blood type. Now, it's different than the A, the B, the AB, or the O, right? It's different than that. This is actually a specific allele within your genes that we can point to. And we know from scientific research, so again, there's pros and cons to the actual blood type diet, which Peter and Joseph D'Adamo actually, wrote about and done a lot of their own studies. This one is peer-reviewed. This one is actually done and more believed in the scientific community. Again, not putting down the blood type diet. And it's also one that I spoke about. So I was invited, I would say about a year ago now, to a private event that was a launch of a new genetic-based company. Really, this is the future of a lot of the medicine that we're using, and we offer this in my practice as well. And I spoke with one of the head geneticists. So this was the keynote speaker at the event. I was meeting to consult on the project as well. And I got to sit down privately with this gentleman as well as a few other people who were all based on this new project together. And so we were there for the launch, and myself as a clinician and practitioner use this in everyday practice, and the other clinician as someone, a geneticist who actually creates these types of labs. And we both agreed that this ApoE gene, this is big. This really tells people whether alcohol could harm or hurt them, how much percentage of fat they should have in their diets, whether if they drink anything with alcohol, whether it actually increase their LDL or decrease their LDL, because believe me, there is no one food for every human, right? Whether fish oil is going to help or not, whether a low saturated fat diet will help some people or hurt some people. So I'm a big fan of this. I really am. And the reason is I did the test. I saw the results that it had in my own life. I went from feeling great to even better. I really did. It took me a long time to get well. I'm not saying it was a short path. I didn't have this information that you have today. I wish I did. It was 20 years ago. I just didn't have that information. So it took me many, many years to get well. But this is one thing that certainly would have helped me get well faster. We now offer it to anyone in the world. It's available at stephencabral.com/store. And you can just see the genetic test that we use. Now, remember, I get to choose any test that I want in the world, right? Anyone that I believe is the best for genetic testing. This test, all the way out in Australia, is literally the best genetic test that you can run right now, okay? And the reason is everyone can get the same genetic material from any lab, but this is the one that gives you in most detail and breaks it down for you step by step. Amazing lab. We use it ourselves exclusive of our practice, and we've used many others, and of course I've looked into the other ones. But anyway, back to this book. So the book tells you, once you know what your allele is, it can actually tell you the percentage of fat, type of exercise, all of these different things. And that's because some people's bodies do better with more aerobic base than anaerobic base. Now, everybody should do both, but there's different percentages. Same with fat. Everyone needs good fat in their diet, but what percentage? So really important, really great. So fantastic book by Pamela McDonald. I'll tell you, love the book, love the attention to detail. The only thing I can't agree with, and this is actually a big thing, is I don't agree with the diet plan at all. Like, not even close. And now maybe she doesn't either. Maybe she just didn't come up with a second edition. But she advocates a lot of dairy. She advocates a fair amount of gluten. She advocates soy milk. These are things that we know are not that great for people, okay? So the research is fantastic. She did a phenomenal job. She's a clinician herself. I think she's incredibly smart. I cannot agree with this diet, not even a little bit. And so my recommendation is you can get great information from the book. You could run a lab if you decide to for your genetics. Remember, your genetics never change. You don't have to run this lab once, and it's so phenomenal. It tells you obviously much more than even just your ApoE or what allele you are. So anyway, great. Check it out if you're into it. If not, that's okay. I just gave you the Cliff Notes version. And of course, I'll link it up in the show notes. So today's episode is Cabral concept number 251. So you can just go to stephencabral.com/251 for all of today's links. So the next one I'm going to talk about is a specific B vitamin. So I mentioned it before, but I want to talk to you about B vitamins. So we're talking about genetics. So I figured, why not talk about B vitamins? Because it's so important. When you run a genetic test, you can actually see if you have what's called an MTHFR gene mutation, which means, it simply means this, that you could take in vitamins like folic acid, but they become toxic in your system because your body does not allow you to fully methylate or convert that folic acid to folate and then 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. And if you can't convert it, that means you can use it to a greater degree, and that means it's going to build up, become toxic in your system. So very simple. You just use a methylated B vitamin. I mean, really, really, really easy to use. Really, honestly, I just take one capsule every single morning. It helps me to reduce stress. It gives me more energy. I have less brain fog. I deal better with just stressors in general, because that's what it's meant to do. And so there are many different B vitamins out there, but you have to look for this. You have to look for the methylated form of B12 and B6 and folic acid. So let me just tell you, it could say something like folate from a natural food source or nature folate. That's a trademark version of the methylated form. That's fantastic. For B12, or the other folate is 5-MTHFR, and you'll see that as well, or 5-MTHF. And the other thing is with your B12, I've mentioned this before, but it's worth talking about. You need to make sure that it comes from methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. That's cyanide bound to to B12. I want you to take the methylated version, not the cyanide-based version. Of course, we don't want the cheap form. We want the form you can actually use, or adenocobalamin, which is not as popular. So again, look for the nature folate, look for the methylcobalamin. We'll link up the one that I recommend that I use in my practice every day in the show notes, and it's a phenomenal product. I use it myself. The reason why I use this particular one is because I use the all-in-one shake every single day. So I use the Daily Nutritional Support. Just go to dailysupportshake.com and you can see the one that I use myself. There's already B vitamins in that. There's going to be B vitamins in a multivitamin you use, right? There's B vitamins in everything. So what I'm not looking to do is I don't want to overload on my folate, right? My folic acid, because I'm already going to get about 400 micrograms than anything else. So this one has 200 micrograms, and that's why I like it. I just don't get the overload on the folate, and I can get a little bit extra of everything, right? So anyway, that's why I enjoy it. And again, you can go to the website for the one that we recommend. And the last thing I want to recommend is Headspace. So Headspace is a fun app to learn meditation or to, you know what, this is what I say. It's a great transition-based product that can get anyone to meditate in 10 days, because all you have to do is follow the app and literally dedicate 10 minutes per day. It gives you a reminder in your phone, and it starts to get you into the practice of meditation. I've been actually recommending meditation quite a bit more in my practice just because of all the people that I see who have anxiety, who have depression, who have panic attacks, and this is Now, meditation is not the end-all be-all, because remember, if you have a calcium to magnesium imbalance, if you have sodium to potassium imbalance, if you have a lack of B vitamins, especially B6 and B12 and folate, like that we were just talking about, all of these things can lead to anxiety, depression, mood-based disorders. Why? Because you cannot properly handle stress, right? I mean, if you have a shortage of magnesium, what are you going to do? I mean, that literally does not allow you to stop that sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight drive. So you can do a hair tissue mineral analysis. You can see that. You can see your B vitamins with the organic acid test. There's so many great labs you could run. But let's say you don't have the money or the financial means to be able to do those. Well, great. You could take a B vitamin and you could start to take an all-in-one, which has some magnesium in there, maybe a little extra magnesium, but also very, very important, right? Very, very important is that you can learn to control your response to stress, not just from your physiology, your body, but also psychology. That means from your mind. So when you become more aware of what stresses you out in life, you can then get ready for when that stressor rears its ugly head, right? When you start to see it, oh, here's that person at work that I don't like, or here's that school-based assignment that I wasn't looking forward to. You can breathe. You can learn how to take that meditation practice with you. Again, it's completely free. I love bringing you free apps, right? So that you can learn how to meditate again in just 10 days. It can get you into the practice. You don't need to dedicate a half hour to an hour. You can dedicate 10 minutes once or twice a day to really just start to concentrate on your breath, to relax your body. It will do so much more than you think. And honestly, you can download the app on your iPhone or Android or any of those other phones out there. I only use an iPhone, so I don't know the other ones. But they're saying that you can focus more, you can live more, you can have less stress, you can worry less, you can smile more, you'll sleep better, you'll love better, you'll train better, you'll listen better, and you'll eat better. And they're saying those things because if you can have a calmer mind, you can have a calmer body. So hopefully you enjoyed all of the different reviews today. And if there's anything, a particular subject or a particular supplement, exercise, whatever you want to see me review in the future, just let me know. Go to StephenCabral.com/Ask Cabral. And of course, for today's, all of my reviews, to get the links of the specific ones so you don't get confused that I recommend, just go to StephenCabral.com/251. Have a great day, everyone. And I'll be back tomorrow with our community questions. Make sure that you come back, tune in for those. Take care.
Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or a lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests, or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.